There are moments in life when heaven shifts quietly, yet everything changes permanently. This is one of those moments. You may not see the evidence yet. You may not feel rich. You may not feel ready. But hear this clearly. What God has already approved in the spiritual realm does not need your permission to manifest in the natural. God has already funded what He called you to do. You have been stressing about resources, but God has been arranging sources. You have been worried about money, but God has been building momentum. You thought the delay meant denial, but it was actually preparation. The truth is, God never assigns a dream without also assigning provision. He never calls without covering the cost. If the vision came from Him, the supply must come from Him too. Right now, God is not asking you to figure it out. He is asking you to trust Him. Many people quit not because the dream was too big, but because they believed the burden of funding it was theirs. But what God births, He backs. What God initiates, He finances. What God promises, He pays for in full. There are dreams you buried because people told you they were unrealistic. Visions you silenced because logic couldn't explain them. Plans you postponed because your bank account didn't match your calling. The first truth you must understand is that God does not fund dreams the way the world does. The world waits for proof before it releases provision. But God releases provision to produce proof. When a dream is placed in your heart by God, it already carries heaven's backing, even if your bank account does not yet reflect it. Many people delay obedience because they are waiting for money, connections, or confirmation. But God is waiting for movement. Faith is the currency that activates divine funding. When God funds a dream, He often begins invisibly, working behind the scenes long before anything shows up in your hands. This is why some of the most powerful breakthroughs happen suddenly, after long seasons where nothing seemed to be changing. A God-given dream is not born from ego or comparison. It is born from alignment. It resonates deeply within you, even when logic says it is impossible. You did not choose this dream because it was easy. You did not choose it because it made sense. You chose it because it would not leave you alone. That restlessness is not confusion, it is calling. And where God calls, He commits Himself to provide. Scripture shows again and again that God does not invite people into assignments without already preparing. The second truth you must understand is that divine funding does not arrive the way human logic expects. Many people miss their miracle because they are waiting for money to fall into their hands, when in reality, God often releases provision through alignment, instruction, and obedience. Heaven does not fund comfort. Heaven funds purpose. When God funds a dream, He first reshapes the dreamer. That means your mindset, your habits, your priorities, and even your circle may begin to change before a single door opens. This is not punishment, it is preparation. There are seasons where God deliberately, the moment God funds your dream life, He does not just release resources, He reshapes your identity. Many people believe provision is about money alone, but divine provision always begins with transformation. When God decides to back what He placed inside you, He starts by strengthening your inner capacity to carry it. That is why before doors open on the outside, something shifts on the inside. You begin to think differently, speak differently, and walk with a new sense of authority. Fear no longer controls your decisions because you know you are no longer self-funded. You are no longer relying on human approval, unstable systems, or temporary support. You are backed by heaven. This is why some opportunities only arrive after long seasons of silence. God was not delaying you, He was preparing you. He was enlarging your character so your blessing would not crush you. When divine funding comes without divine maturity, it becomes destruction instead of elevation. That is why God allows pressure to refine you, rejection to toughen you, and waiting to discipline you. He knows exactly when you are ready to steward what He is about to release. The delay was not. As we come to the end of this message, remember this truth. What God has placed inside you was never random, delayed, or forgotten. The dreams you carry were funded by heaven before you were ever aware of them. What felt like waiting was preparation. What felt like loss was redirection. What felt like silence was God arranging resources, people, timing, and favor beyond your control. You are not late. You are not behind. You are standing at the edge of fulfillment. Now is not the time to shrink back in fear or doubt. This is the moment to walk forward in faith, obedience, and courage. Trust that God will release provision step by step, strength day by day, and clarity when you need it most. Stay faithful, stay humble, stay aligned, because what He has started in you, He will finish. Your dream life is no longer surviving. It is awakening, expanding, and moving into manifestation.